In the wild cradle of Earth's imagination where time bends and beasts never truly do summon a vision so bold, so primal, it defies nature itself. Picture a battlefield lost in the folds of deep time. The sky roars with thunder. The ground trembles like a drum roll before war. And in the middle of it all stands a creature both feared and worshipped. Tyrannosaurus Rex. 40 feet of pure predatory power. Nearly 20,000 pounds of flesh, bone, and muscle honed by millions of years of brutal survival. Its skull massive and armored houses the most powerful bite of any land predator in history. Teeth the size of daggers, legs like piston-driven siege weapons. A tail that balances this living tank like a dancer preparing for war. But today, the tyrant king of the Cretaceous doesn't face a horned rival or slow-witted herbivore. No, he faces 5 modern giants, living legends of our time. African elephants, each a towering fortress of strength, weighing over 12,000 pounds. Not predators but protectors, not killers but coordinated warriors when threatened. They come not with claws or fangs, but with intelligence, memory, and unity. Their tusks are ivory sabers, their charge, a living earthquake. 5 versus 1. Old world versus ancient terror. Is this a massacre waiting to happen, or the ultimate test of nature's mightiest creations? In this battle, extinction isn't the only thing on the line. Legacy is. Tyrannosaurus Rex wasn't just a predator, it was a walking executioner. A final verdict in flesh. It didn't need to sprint or pounce. It stalked like death on 2 thunderous legs, letting the Earth's tremors announce its approach. When it struck, it wasn't a clean kill, it was a spectacle of destruction. It shattered bones like twigs. It didn't bite to kill, it bit to maim, to dismantle, to dominate. With a bite force exceeding 12,000 pounds per square inch, nearly double that of any living carnivore, T-Rex could crush a steel drum like a soda can. One clamp of those serrated teeth could snap a femur in half, and if it got close enough to an elephant, the skull would go first. One bite, total collapse. But these weren't the lumbering duck-billed herbivores of the Cretaceous. These were elephants. No horns, no decorative frills, no instinct to flee. Just 5 walls of muscle, intelligence, and ivory over 6 tons and wired for unity. T-Rex ruled a world of instinct and brute strength. It had no concept of strategy beyond the hunt, no need for teamwork, no patience for negotiation. It hunted alone. It killed alone. It reigned alone. But now it faces a new kind of enemy. One that thinks, one that defends, one that remembers. Can ancient savagery defeat modern coordination? Can one apex killer unravel a living wall of moving fortresses? Or will the king of the Cretaceous discover, far too late, that brains and numbers beat brawn and legend? These are not mindless tanks. Elephants don't just charge, they strategize. Beneath their thick hides lie some of the most advanced brains in the animal kingdom. They remember old enemies, they grieve lost family members, they teach, they warn, they adapt. And when a threat emerges, they don't panic, they organize. In the wild, when lions attack, elephants don't scatter. They form a fortress, adults on the perimeter, babies safely in the middle, tusks angled outward like living spears. Each one becomes a guardian, a wall of muscle and ivory, a battalion of instincts honed over centuries. They're not sluggish beasts either. At full sprint, an African elephant can hit speeds up to 40 kilometers per hour. That's over 6 tons of momentum per elephant, charging like a freight train. Multiply that by 5, and you're not facing an animal anymore, you're facing a living battering ram. Unlike the solitary T-Rex, these giants fight together. They flank, they protect, they sacrifice, and they learn in real time. Even the tyrant lizard Kingopex, predator of the late Cretaceous, never faced this kind of unity. Not from dumb herds, not from panicked prey, but from a team. Their tusks could gore, their weight could pin, their intelligence could anticipate. And here's the chilling question. Can prehistoric dominance stand a chance against modern-day strategy? Because when 5 elephants charge in unison, they don't just bring the pain. They bring the future, and it might be enough to end the past. The arena is silent, almost sacred, a battleground forged from imagination and fear. The wind is still, the air hangs heavy with tension. Then, the tremor. A low rumble, rising from the earth like a warning drumbeat. From the left, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Head low, massive tail slicing the air with each calculated step. Its yellow eyes scan the field, judging distance, watching movement, measuring risk. It doesn't rush. It circles wide, a predator's ballet, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. From the right, 5 African elephants, trumpeting, stomping, snorting steam from their trunks. They don't charge blindly, they form a formation, a semicircle of ivory and muscle, the youngest, smallest one tucked behind. They inch forward as one unit, a living wall of defiance. Then it begins. Strike 1. T-Rex lunges. No roar, no warning, just a blur of ancient muscle moving with terrifying speed. It targets the flank, low, toward the legs. A classic tactic: take down the base, make the rest fall with it. But the elephant is ready. With the force of a wrecking ball, it swings its tusks sideways. One slams into T-Rex's snout. Bone cracks. Blood sprays. The king stumbles back, but he's not broken. He's angry. Strike 2. The elephants seize the opening. 3 of them move in a coordinated push. No chaos, no panic, just brute force with purpose. They ram him from the side, tusks jabbing, shoulders pressing. For a moment, the unthinkable happens: they pin the predator. T-Rex thrashes, tail whipping like a club, jaws snapping. The roar it releases is deep, primal, full of pain and fury. Then it happens. Amid the confusion, the king spots his moment. The smallest elephanthesident, slightly out of formation, vulnerable. He pivots. One thunderous step, one massive leap forward, one bite. And the battle shifts. His jaws clamp around the young elephant's neck. There's a horrible echoing crack and then a scream. The young giant collapses, legs buckling, blood soaking the ground beneath it. Now it's 4 against 1. But rage is a powerful weapon. Strike 3. An elder bull roars, charges, and strikes. One tusk, sharp and soaked in dust, plunges deep into T-Rex's ribs. The king howls, wounded but not down. He staggers, breath shallow. Blood now drips from mouth and side. He lashes out, but his blows are slower now. Less fury, more desperation. Minutes stretch like hours. The battlefield is soaked in blood, ancient and modern. Trumpets echo like war horns across the arena. The king blinks, his vision blurry. The elephants hold their line, circling tighter. Their feet stomp, their trunks swing. And then, silence. No more lunges, no more screams. Only dust. And the echoes of a battle that never should have happened, but one the earth will never forget. Let's strip away the spectacle, the dust, the blood, the roar. Let's speak plainly. In a one-on-one battle, Tyrannosaurus Rex wins, every single time. It wasn't built to struggle, it was built to end things. A single elephant might get in a lucky strike, might even wound the king, but it wouldn't survive the counterattack. Those bone-crushing jaws, that raw prehistoric power, the terrifying, calculated aggression, the elephant would fall. Hard. Against 2 elephants, it becomes a brawl. Brutal, bloody, chaotic. Still, the tyrant lizard has a shot. If it lands that first kill fast, if it disables one, it can outmaneuver the second. It's a close fight, but still possible for the king. But 5? Now we've crossed a line. This is no longer a contest of might versus might. This is might versus strategy, versus coordination, versus intelligence. 5 elephants aren't just a pack of heavy hitters, they're a unit. They move like a phalanx, they flank, they defend, they retaliate with intent. And they don't just hit hard, they learn as they go. T-Rex wasn't built for this kind of war. It didn't evolve to fight teams. It evolved to dominate individuals. Ambush, kill, move on. But here, he's facing not 1, not 2, but 5 enemies who think, react, and protect one another. So who wins? The likely outcome? Mutual destruction. At least 2 elephants die, maybe 3. The battlefield is soaked in ancient and modern blood. Ivory and claws, flesh and fury. But the king falls. Not because he wasn't strong enough, not because he made a fatal mistake, but because, in the end, no amount of muscle can overcome smart numbers and collective will. Legends fall. Even monsters from 68 million years ago. Even kings. And what's left? A battlefield where the past met the present and the future walked away limping but alive. Because this wasn't just a fight. It was a lesson. That unity, not size, determines survival. That sometimes it's not about the biggest bite. It's about who stands together when chaos breaks loose. This wasn't just a fantasy. This was more than a battle dreamed up from the bones of prehistory and the weight of modern giants. This was a test. A brutal, beautiful experiment in evolution and ancient what-if, forged in blood, muscle, and survival instinct. On one side, the ultimate hunter. Tyrannosaurus Rex. A monster sculpted by extinction, engineered by millions of years to be nature's final word on predators. It didn't survive because it was smart. It survived because it was merciless, powerful, fearless. It reigned alone because it didn't need anyone else. On the other side, a team. 5 African elephants. Modern titans with wisdom in their eyes and strategy in their blood. They didn't evolve to kill, they evolved to protect, to grieve, to remember, to act together. This was never just about teeth and tusks. It was about what evolution truly values when the stakes are life or death. Brains versus brutality. The herd versus the lone hunter. Adaptability versus dominance. And here's the truth that echoes louder than any roar. Even the strongest fall. Not always to something bigger, but often to something smarter. More united. More resilient. The king of the Cretaceous may have had the most powerful bite the world has ever seen, but no jaw can crush a bond forged by survival and intelligence. So what do we take from this clash of titans? That legends can bleed, that monsters can be outmatched, and that sometimes the real strength isn't found in the biggest beast, but in the collective will of those who fight side by side. If you crave more battles like this, prehistoric wars, impossible matchups, and the savage truths beneath ancient extinction stories, join us on Prehistoric Shadows. Subscribe now. The next clash may be darker, deadlier, and even more unforgettable.